Hi, welcome to another edition of Hub City Times Presents. I'm your host, Peggy Sue Meyer, and I'm here with Tricia Fancher from the Hannah Center.
Yes. Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. To start out today, I would like to just talk about first thing, what does the Hannah Center do for the city of Marshfield?
Yeah, so the Hannah Center opened in June of 1993, so we have existed for over 25 years. And our mission is to assist women in life crisis through compassion and guidance in a nurturing environment. So we hold up to 5 women at one time who live in our home with their children. We are serving women coming out of all types of situations, from chronic poverty, chronic homelessness. Sometimes it's an abusive relationship, more often loss of relationship that left them homeless or without somewhere to go. And then also with the drug epidemics in our areas, women coming into recovery, getting back on their feet again, and women coming out of incarceration. So we assist these women in gaining and learning the life skills that they need to become successful independently. We do life skill classes on just about every topic you can think of, from parenting and budgeting, car maintenance, cooking, time management, lots of things like that. We also do group as well as one-on-one life coaching on things like healthy relationships, communication, self-love, lots of different topics like that as well. So typically, our residents are with us. We're a longer-term program. In our individual goal-based program, our residents are usually with us anywhere from 7 to 12 months for successful completion of the program.
And you said you can house up to 5 women at a time?
Yeah, so we have 4 long-term rooms at the Hannah Center, and then we do have 1 urgent housing room. Because the Hannah Center is not a homeless shelter, we are a program. Women have to be accepted into the program, and that can take anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks to be accepted into the program. So we do have 1 urgent housing room where we can accept a woman on a quicker basis, more of like 12 to 24 hours from her original inquiry, and she can come in and be safe and be loved and have a home while she works towards being accepted into the long-term program.
Oh, neat. And then you would also take their children, you said, correct?
Yeah. So we take single women, the pregnant woman, and women with children. So at times we may have 5 women and 12 children in the house. We currently have a full house with, I believe we have 9 children currently, 8 children currently. 9 is coming soon. So yeah.
Okay. Cool. And so what area do you service? Is it just Marshfield or further span?
Yeah, so we serve women from anywhere. Now, I would say that primarily we serve, Wood County and surrounding counties. However, we have at times had women in the program from Colorado, California, but typically women that are from out of state and coming into the Hannah Center, they have family ties to the Marshfield area, which is bringing them back to the Marshfield area. So servicing really all over, but if we have a full house and a waiting list, the woman from Wood County or surrounding counties would take precedence first, over somebody from out of state or something like that, where I could refer them to other programs, maybe closer to them.
Are there other programs nearby? Because, to me, it seems like 5 spots really isn't a lot, and I'm sure you run into that. So what happens to that person if they are from Wood County and they're not able to, unfortunately, get into your business? Is there somewhere you can refer them to?
So unfortunately, there is not anything specifically like the Hannah Center. We do have some domestic violence shelters around. We do have like a boarding house and things like that I can refer them to, or low-income housing, different options like that. But there is not another program in Wood County that does what the Hannah Center does.
But there's maybe in the works of a new one starting in Wisconsin Rapids. Is that not correct?
Yes. So actually super exciting. We are working on opening a second location in Wisconsin Rapids. Our county is huge, and it can be very difficult for a woman from Wisconsin Rapids to move to Marshfield and, just different things like that for services. So we are in the fundraising stages right now of raising money to open a second location in Wisconsin Rapids, and we are getting closer and closer to our goal. We recently received a grant from the Legacy Foundation in Wisconsin Rapids, and they are doing a matching grant right now. So anything up to $200,000 is matched right now, any donations towards that expansion. And we are very close and excited to be, just making partnerships and building relationships with businesses and churches and schools in Wisconsin Rapids, but also community members, individuals looking to volunteer, and those in need in the Wisconsin Rapids area.
So what kind of dollar amount, can I ask, are you looking for? What is your goal to get this up and running?
Our fundraising goal is $1 million. So once we have raised $1 million, we can then start looking for a home and things like that. So our budget is $200,000 for the home that we would purchase for the location of the Hannah Center. And the remainder of that $1 million is 5 years worth of operating costs. We wanted to make sure that we have a good solid foundation for that first 5 years as we build relationships and as we open our programs, to the Wisconsin Rapids community, opening our life skill classes, not just to our residents, but to the community. So we have time to build relationships and build fundraisers unique to the Wisconsin Rapids community as well. Because we are the same county, however, different communities. And so that 5 years of operating costs will be huge for us to build those relationships and get the word out that the Hannah Center exists in Wisconsin Rapids.
And so you don't have a clue, as of yet, how many this would house, because you don't necessarily have a home yet. But what are you hoping, that it would be able to house up to 5 also, or are you looking bigger?
I guess my hope in that is that it would at least be able to house as many as we do here in Marshfield. We do get asked a lot of times, why don't you go bigger? Why don't you, house 20 or, something along those lines. And my answer to that is, if we were to expand and have a home that we could house 20 residents, our program wouldn't be the same. It's a very individualized program, and we believe in coming alongside of these women, walking life with them, doing life with them, building relationships with them. And myself and my staff would not be able to build the relationships with our residents that we do now if we had 20 residents in the same house. So it wouldn't be the same program.
And so when you mentioned your staff, how many people does it take to staff this kind of facility?
That's a great question. So we have 4 full-time staff, and I have approximately 8 part-time or casual staff. So we're staffed 24/7. But then we also have Hannah's Caring Closet, where we accept donations of children's items, new and used, and we clothe and bathe and feed all of the children based off of those donations, but that's also open to any community member in need. So we have tons of wonderful volunteers who run Hannah's Caring Closet. We have volunteers that come in and teach life skill classes. So, the amount of staff is somewhat minimal, but the amount of volunteers it takes for the Hannah Center to run is huge.
Well, that's neat. One of the things that now we interviewed PDC the last month, and we were talking about the operation costs. So what is the daily operation cost for a facility like yours? Do you have it broke down to that? For one person to take care of, I suppose it also depends on how many children are with them. Yeah. But what is the average cost that it takes to operate a day of the Hannah Center?
So we have it broken down to where we're at about $68 a night for one woman at the Hannah Center, or one person at the Hannah Center that it would cost. We, again, the Hannah Center being a nonprofit organization, unique to us, we also don't accept any state or federal funding. We don't write for grants at the state or federal levels. Our budget is very limited. It's very limited to work with, and we've existed for over 25 years thanks to the generosity of the Marshfield community, those monthly donors and the businesses and the banks and all, the churches that support us in our fundraisers or by monthly donations. Typically, we're operating at about $275,000 per year, which, if you think about your own home and then you multiply that by 5 families, plus office and all those costs, it's huge. So we do our best to be very frugal with those contributions from the community and keep those costs low, but provide the services that really help these women to break the cycles of chronic poverty and homelessness and addiction and all of those things. Because really, when I look at the children at the Hannah Center, that's our goal, is to break those cycles so that not only are we equipping the women and the mothers with the skills that they need to be able to live successfully independently, but we are equipping them to then be able to turn around and teach those skills to their children, so that their children don't have to follow in those cycles.
So you mentioned fundraisers. Do you guys have like fundraisers that you do every year, or, I mean, do you have multiple ones throughout the year, or is it just kind of, they just happen by donations?
Yeah, so we do have some fundraisers that we do each year. Our biggest fundraiser is our Giving for Life banquet, which happens every October. And then we also have a Mother's Day rose sale each year. We have brat fries in the summer. We've done a shopping spree at Festival Foods here in Marshfield for many years in a row. We've had a golf outing, just different things like that. So we do try to have fundraisers throughout the year. But again, that one in October, the Giving for Life banquet, is our biggest fundraiser where we fundraise the most for the operational expenses, throughout the year. But however, those, honestly, the biggest thing is those monthly donations. That's really what sustains the Hannah Center and the women and children that we serve, is the monthly donations from community members.
I want to go back to the giving for the one in October that you mentioned. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, one of the donations we could just touch on right now, we currently are doing a donation drive at Hub City Times. So if people would like to make donations, they're welcome to bring them to Hub City Times.
Yes.
And it's listed in the paper of the needs that you guys have.
Yeah.
But put that plug in there. But then the one that you have in October, mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, if I've never been to it, mm-hmm. but if I'd like to attend, how does one attend, and what is it entitled?
Yeah. So typically we sell tickets online. So come, late August, early September, watch our website, watch our Facebook page. Really for all our fundraisers, watching our website and our Facebook page. And we'll sell tickets online to the Giving for Life banquet. And typically we will have a speaker, whether it's a past resident. We've had authors of books or different inspirational speakers. And that evening, we come all together, enjoy a wonderful dinner. We have a silent auction and we have live auction items. So we do a live auction. It's a fun night. It's a fun, wonderful night to get out of the house, spend some time, whether you invite family or friends or whoever it may be, and enjoy your time together while supporting women and children in crisis and just learning more about the Hannah Center and having the opportunity at times to meet the staff, the board members, and even past residents or current residents as well, and just showing support in that way.
And do you have the location, or is it, I know it's October, so it might be a little ways off yet. Do you have the location of where this year's going to be?
We don't right now. Last October, due to COVID, we actually went virtual. Okay. Which was exciting and different, but it was wonderful. So hopefully we'll be able to be in person again this year, but we'll see where that leads.
And you mentioned the dreaded word of COVID.
Yeah.
How did COVID affect the Hannah Center?
Yeah. So, COVID really took a toll on, a lot of different areas of the home. One of them being the fundraising options. We did have to cancel quite a number of our fundraisers due to COVID and just wanting to make sure that everybody stays safe. We were able to do, like I said, the Giving for Life banquet online, which was wonderful. But another area that it really affected, one of our goals for our residents is to connect them with positive community members, get them connected with churches and professionals and mentors and friends within the community. And because of COVID, we've really not been able to get our residents plugged into, those kinds of events or gatherings because there have not been them, and having the public coming in and out of the Hannah Center, obviously, too. So it really did affect the women at the house in our ability to do that, and just in moods and mental health. It really takes a toll. And then, of course, also it affected things like our cost for cleaning supplies and all of those things, because we have to, with that many people in the house, you have to keep things safe. So it affected that as well. I'm very hopeful that with spring coming and the vaccinations and all these good things happening, that we'll be able to start having volunteers in the house to teach life skill classes again, and we'll be able to get the women connected to mom groups or churches, or set up to go to coffee with a volunteer that just wants to walk alongside and do relationships with them, because they do really need those positive, healthy people in their lives.
And now we talked about the donations that people can do, but if a person wants to help out personally, what kind of person are you looking for that?
honestly, the Hannah Center is a Christian home. We are looking for women and men that want to walk alongside women and children in crisis and just be a light in their life. So anybody can apply to be a volunteer. We do a background check. We have a lot of different volunteer opportunities. We have some in Hannah's Caring Closet, and where you're sorting clothes or filling requests. We also utilize our volunteers to teach life skill classes. So again, we teach life skill classes on so many topics. So if there is somebody that is like, hey, I'm pretty good at this, I could come in and teach somebody how to crochet or how to do yoga, even things, fun things, cake decorating and, budgeting, all those, budgeting might not be fun, but cake decorating, and things like how to change the oil in your car. So we really like to get volunteers in to teach those life skill classes because it gives the girls those connections in the communities. It gives the women those connections, and it also builds rapport with them, but with the children as well. Throughout COVID, I've been teaching a lot of the life skills classes, but we are getting back to having our volunteers come in to teach those classes. So somebody can call us or go on our website and we can fill out the volunteer application, and they can indicate where they're interested in volunteering. And even some people are really good at doing different events. They want to help out with some of our events, and we always need volunteers for those things, or brat fries, to man the brat barn. And I'm good at grilling, so we could definitely utilize that. Lots of different areas to become involved on a personal level with the Hannah Center.
That's kind of neat. So I don't really need any qualifications, but I understand the background check, but just some skill that I might have that I want to help somebody and share and lend a hand to someone.
Yeah, and it might even be, we do transportation for our residents here in the Marshfield community, so to work and appointments in schools and different things like that. So maybe you're like, hey, I'm free on Mondays. I could provide transportation, allowing staff to stay at the office with, whatever it may be. Or maybe you're somebody that you just want to be able to meet the residents for coffee, once or twice a month and get to know them and be able to build a friendship with them. And absolutely, we need all different types to make the Hannah Center what it is. And we're thankful for our volunteers and can always use more.
And once again, a person just goes on your website to fill out an application?
Yep, there's a volunteer application right on our website, and you can just kind of turn that in. There's a spot you can indicate what you're interested in, or you can leave that blank and we'll talk and find a place that fits you.
That's awesome. That's really neat. Well, that concludes this edition of Hub City Times Presents. I'm Peggy Sue Meyer, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.